Let's talk Venom. Venom: The Last Dance is the third film in the, I can't believe I'm saying this, the Venom trilogy starring Tom Hardy. And of course, it's a buddy movie with Venom. It's I'll just say this. The first Venom I thought was fun. Interesting concept. It's I remember liking the first movie, didn't love it. The second movie, for me, I can barely remember it. And this film, Alan, tell us the story
Really?
of Venom: The Last Dance.
Okay.
Because I'll just say this before you get into the story, it's a mess. It is a mess and all over
I
the
know.
place. And I'm
That's why
hey,
you want me to tell the story.
yeah, I want to hear what you got out of it, because there were plot lines they introduced that didn't pay off.
Yeah.
And then there are things where they introduced certain things where I'm like, okay, well, moving on. And then it comes back. It didn't really need to. Tell us the story of Venom: The Last Dance, the basic
Okay.
story.
So this is what I figured out. So there's a powerful symbiote god named Null, and he has been banished to some place by the symbiotes because he became too evil and desired too much power. And so they banished him along with these creatures called xenophages, which are basically weird computer generated lizard fish people, creatures, whatever. All right, so he needs to find what is called the Codex key in order to be released. And the only Codex key in existence is the one that exists between Eddie Brock, played by Tom Hardy, and Venom, voiced by Tom Hardy. All right, and so all these creatures are sent out throughout the entire galaxy to find the Codex. And the way it's found, it's kind of like Lord of the Rings. The way that these creatures can find it is if Venom and Eddie Brock are in full symbiote mode, where the entire body. Okay, I have no idea how to describe it or what the word is.
Symbiosis. They're
Symbiosis.
one. They're one.
So when they're one, that activates the Codex, which allows everyone to find them again, just like Lord of the Rings. So when one xenophage shows up, Venom realizes that they're in trouble, and so now Eddie and Venom can no longer be fully symbiotic. So the movie's yeah, I know. So the movie is about him not getting caught,
and he has to fight these creatures.
Yes.
And it's a road buddy movie.
Yeah. I'll say this. I liked the buddy aspect of it, but it was interrupted too many times by plot.
Yeah, it's a road movie where they're trying to get to New York, and they go through Vegas and end up in Area 51. On the way, Eddie befriends a family, where it's a guy, his wife, and two kids, and they want to go to Area 51. They want to see aliens.
Yep.
But they also focus on these scientists in the film that you don't care about at all, that have all the other symbiotes in like some stasis where they can't form, right, or go on to
they're in cages, so to speak.
Yeah, they're in cages.
And Stephen Graham from the last movie. Remember Stephen Graham in Carnage in the last movie? He's there too.
Yeah. And Chiwetel Ejiofor is in it as well.
Yeah. He's the military guy. And then Juno Temple is the hot, sexy scientist.
Right. And which weird about Chiwetel Ejiofor, which hopefully I'm pronouncing is Chiwetel Ejiofor. He was in Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a different role for him in the Marvel universe. I don't know. Do we care anymore? There is a great joke at the beginning of the movie. He hates multiverses. There's a joke about how multiverses suck in the very beginning of the film. We're back to our normal universe. Okay.
And then they talk about a purple guy who snapped half the universe. out of
Yeah,
existence.
yeah, and it's in the back to their universe or whatever, and, we don't care, but should we tell EG4 is actually in the proper Marvel MCU universe
Mhm.
in Doctor Strange, right? So,
Yes.
make of that what you will. He's now sort of a, uh, military guy taking on these creatures, which are undefeatable. Uh, they're really tough to beat. They have a hard time, like, killing these things,
Yeah.
and truly, Venom, you get the sense that Venom could die from this creature that looks like something out of A Quiet Place.
Mhm.
Um, I like the buddy cop, buddy aspect of this. They took a buddy movie, road movie, being pursued by monsters. That's the simple way to explain this story. Everything is so stupid and over the top, especially when they get to Vegas.
Mhm.
It gets so dumb. I'm like, is this it's like walking the line of comedy, really dumb comedy, and horror. As you see, like random soldiers are dispensed by these creatures, like by being eaten and ground up like like
Mhm.
a when they ground up trees into a what do they
Yeah.
call those things that you you put
Yeah, like a food processor or a
a food
sausage
pro
making
yeah, yeah. Keep going.
or sausage making machine or
Whatever. They
yeah.
spit out the blood the other side. It's gross. So people go in and come out as ground beef. Um, kind of nuts, but uh and I'm watching Tom Hardy. I'm like, he had to say this with nothing around him. We're seeing that all the digital effects. There's
Yeah.
the opening scene, which was in the trailer, where he takes on these thugs and saves these dogs,
Yeah.
right? That are
But
in
I don't know
prison.
if you I don't know if you stayed to the credits, but
I
Tom
let's
Hardy
say
gets
to the very end. There's
yeah.
a mid-credit scene and a very, very, very end credit scene. But yes,
The point I was making
opening
was is Tom Hardy's a co-writer or co-story and a producer. I don't know what that means, but he is somewhat invested in this movie.
which is telling.
Yeah,
But I just was like, I mean, did they know this would be the last one? So
I think so.
they just, I mean,
Yeah. They
oh,
they open themselves up to sequels that we don't want or care about.
exactly. And even a friend of mine said, bring tissues.
I know.
I'm like,
When
for
he said that,
what?
I'm like, no, there's just no
He
way.
said, you're going to get choked up. There's a moment at the end, I won't ruin it, where they obviously want you to feel something.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. I was like, no, you're not going to get that out
Well,
of me.
it's so done. It's nothing's really original about this movie. The whole thing where all the symbiotes come alive and do their thing, it's like, all right, well, I guess we have to do this. I just felt disconnected from this movie the entire time. Like
Same.
I'm sitting back watching this movie for the sole reason of being able to talk about it the next morning. And like I like this relationship between Venom and Eddie Brock, but so the opening scene is about establishing this relationship, and
Yeah.
it's him making drinks, mixing drinks, and I'm like, this is just the dumbest thing. Who thought of this? And the way Tom Hardy looks while he's doing it is like he's uncomfortable working around a green screen with CG. Like he doesn't know where to look. He just kind of stands there like a adult.
No,
And
I
yeah,
disagree. I think he pulls it off. What I
yeah,
was impressed by is that it's green screen or he's like doing and it's all augmented CG after
right,
the fact. But I gotta give him credit for what this was. Tom Hardy went for it.
yeah,
I mean, it in the end, the movie as a whole doesn't work,
yeah.
but
Well, yeah,
he went for
it says something about him to say, I'm in the world's worst movie, but I'm going to give it 100%, and that's what
well,
he does.
that's what you did. That's what you
That's
should
what
do.
you should do. A professional
Exactly.
actor should do that.
And
Absolutely.
I'll just say it's like I'll say this, like we can sit here and piss on the movie, and there's a thing where your shoes get pissed on. It's like they do every gross joke you can imagine with the concept, but it's no I'll say this, all the dumb things that happen in the movie are no more or less dumb than what happens in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Dumb things like this also happen in the comics. So you could say, and I'm not as familiar with the Venom comics as I should be. I'll just say that, like, I've seen some really dumb things happen in comics. So, like, when they turn up in the movies, I'm like, well,
Mm-hmm.
to be fair, lots of dumb things happen in lots of comics. Like, you have to put an issue of a comic out every month. You're gonna hit rock bottom. You're gonna scrape the bottom of the barrel, and that's what this is scraping the bottom of the barrel for the concept. Now, the audience I saw it with had fun. If you're looking for fun, and I'll give the movie credit, it's 90 minutes. I couldn't believe it's a tight 90. It's not 210 or 220. It's 90-minute film. Thank you for keeping it tight. So I can't say I wasn't entertained. So I would say for me, it gets like I think it's, to be clear also, I don't think it's very good. I think it's ridiculous. There are plot lines completely jettisoned. There's stupid things that happen. But I kind of had fun. But I'll say this, the fun was a Madam Web like of fun, right? This is the Madam Web of Venom movies. Okay. So dumb fun, probably a 5 or a 6 if I had to rate it. So your mileage may vary. Probably a not recommend for most people. But if you thought Madam Web was dumb and had a good time, that's exactly what this is. It's stupid. And you're like, well, I'm kind of having fun. This is so stupid because the third act is so over the top. It is so over the top. You're like, all right, well, I guess that happened with the symbiotes possessing certain people with weapons and crazy shit happening. And I mean, it's over the top.
Yeah, I mean, look, when people get the symbiotes, they don't even put the effort into making it sound cool like Tom Hardy and Venom.
Right.
They just the voice, especially the female voice, was just so annoying. It's like, yeah, this is how you distort a female voice. I hear it in commercials and TV and all that stuff. My biggest issue with this movie is there's nothing original about it. There's nothing really. There's nothing there that says, "Hey, we're telling a Venom story and you should see it." It's very bland. It's very, it's like, of course we have to have the military come in. Of course we have to have a science lab. Spoiler here, but of course the military has to take over the science lab.
Right.
It's like I've seen this all before, and being a Venom story doesn't elevate it in any way, which is what it should do. If you're going to tell a story that's been told before, tell it in your way, make it unique, and find exciting new things around that story. And this doesn't do it. You're just seeing Tom Hardy as Venom again, which is fine. He does good. I just wish there was a better story surrounding it.
But you did get the bucket. If you would show it to us. That's the good bucket.
Is that? I mean, look at that bucket.
AMC did a different bucket. I want one. Honestly, I do want one of those.
Okay, I'll stop by.
But no, wait a sec, Alan. There was a musical number that didn't sway you.
Oh gosh, I even forgot about it. What was the song?
The musical number, the dance number.
Oh, that's right.
That scene and that character. I forget the actress's name.
Yeah, I know
Peggy Lou. She plays Mrs. Chen, right?
But her character seems so out of. It's like, no. This is the evolutionary jump of this character, and I'm like, that's just too much.
Her character is made to appeal to the Chinese market.
Yes,
this movie will do very well in China.
Yeah, in fact, I'm pretty sure that's where this movie will get most of its money. Overseas.
So what is your final verdict? Mine is a 5 or a 6.
Mine's
Madam Web level fun, but dumb movie in the end.
Mine's a 4. I'll never see it again, and I'm already forgetting it.
Yeah, what happened in the movie? I
Yeah,
can't believe I'm
exactly.
more generous, but I again, it was the audience made it fun.
Yeah.
I will not see this movie again
Well,
either.
the first movie is about their relationship, and it's
Right.
all about their relationship. In this movie, it's the third one, so the exploring their relationship has been played out, and it feels like it's played out at this time. It's like, okay, if this is the end of the third, if the third movie is the end of this relationship, that's how it's going to play out. And even that wasn't original at all.
Now, so do you recommend it or
No,
not?
no,
Okay, mine is
no.
a bare recommend, but if you had fun at Madam Web, you'll have fun here. So
I had
let's
more
go to
fun
your
at Metal Web. Let's put it that way.
Madam Web was terrible and I had fun. The two
Yeah,
things can coexist.
yeah, exactly. Sydney Sweeney.